All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to log into ArcGIS Online. We have seen this before, we have practiced this before, so this should be not a problem. Password worked last night as well. And I haven't changed much here. But what we're going to do is we're going to be here in arcgis.com, but we're also going here now to Business Analyst Online on the apps tablets. I have first row seats. That probably won't work for you. First 3 rows, 26 students, 30 computers. So we gotta do some damage on those computers. So 2 ways to open up our Business Analyst Online. I could be here in my arcgis.com environment. Let's say you're looking at your own content. Yeah. So I haven't done much in here. But you can go here on the apps and click Business Analyst. Yeah. So it pops up in a different window. Fires up the splash screen, logs in, perfectly fine. And depending on the speed of your computer, it will actually show up. Yeah? If I don't want to log into arcgis.com, I can go straight with this URL bao.arcgis.com and log in there. It's the same thing. So if I say let's go to BAO, both works. Both path settings, yeah? Cool. Let's do a new project. Let's mess around with a few things. Let's go to projects down here. Where's my button for the new project? In case you look at the screen like I do, I go to Maps, create a new project here. Yeah. Let's call that Customs Report. Custom Reports. And we wait a little bit. And we wait a little bit. That's okay. Meanwhile, you can stretch our leg a little bit. All right, cool. Let's open it. So this is something we have seen before, huh? Been there, done that. All right. Let's practice a little bit how we get around. Let's type in an address, 3301 College Avenue, Davie, Florida, and we should come straight up to campus. There are different ways to navigate around in a map, in the systems. All right, got that. So what if I want to do actually something else? What if I want to go after a business? Everyone experienced the business yet? Figured out how to deal with businesses? Want to learn about it? Yes. Okay. So this is nice. I have an address, create single site, and again I can do those add rings, drive time, walk time, etc. Yeah, but that's not why this is actually cool. So if I zoom out a little bit, I can actually then go and say business and facility search. Do not click right now. Give me a moment. So to give you an idea again, we have these 3 major tabs we can use. Let's say add data, web maps, and layers. What did you do for the assignment? What did we do last week in arcgis.com or AGO, ArcGIS Online? We did do a map, didn't we? All right, so knowing that I can add web maps data or layers might be useful a little bit later. Yeah? So gotta figure that out. Gotta keep that in mind. There are ways to cheat the system and make our life more happy.
And where did you go? How'd you get from that?
Well, just here. So define areas, add data. Yeah, there are videos for that too. So be curious and just click on stuff. Helps, particularly in Arc Pro. Gotta click on stuff because every time if you're on the left side, let's say the table of content, you click on the table of content, depending on what layer you're in, your ribbons on the top are changing, which is annoying as hell, which is French for, sorry, French speaking people. Alright, it's North German. Which is North German for this is a miserable configuration. I have to think too many times about that tool. Because I want that tool. And then you do forget that at the bottom you have to click on something else first. That workflow needs to be in you with a certain training. Gotta practice that. The same thing like we're doing here. Take another look at what are the options. Simple things. Add data. What are the options I can here do? Import file, we're going to do that probably next week. Got to do it a little bit step by step. Can't eat the cake in a whole piece or as a whole. Yeah. So web maps, layers, important. Then define areas for report. We're doing reports today, so we're playing with this a little bit more. But create maps from data. We played with this. Remember we did like population, demographics. Yeah. We're going to skip this. This is just annoying and hindersome in your learning curve right now. Play with it. Don't spend too much time. It's really cool if you know the complete theory behind it and you have a specific project to deal with. Just to make up things. What?
What's his watch videos? Is that little tutorials or something?
Yep. Look at that.
For each variable, and combine all criteria together to map areas that meet all of them.
I run on my audio right now,
to skip
so
this guide in the future.
I'm not going to mess with the audio system. Am I still recording here? You working? Okay. So yeah, do those videos helps. As we started about 3-ish years ago, with really pimping out their help. Like F1, if you're in the installations, ArcMap or in ArcPro, the F1 key is your friend. Help function is your friend. They added so much easy language to all of that. So you don't have to have a PhD anymore. You just can start with that in first class. Help in the 9er versions, scary. And Google didn't really help either, so because they don't like each other. All right, cool. Where was I? Well, business facility search. So we can create maps from data. Let's do the business stuff here. Let's click on it, and on the left side, our menu will change. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at options and explore actually what's going on with this. So here, enter business or facility name or type. That's what we call a text search, name search. We're going to do that in a moment. But then I have other stuff here. Search extent is the current map. You guys got to look up for that. This is important. So what I did is I did create maps from data and went to the business and facility search. And I clicked more options here. I can select, you guys actually have standard here, current map extent. If I'm looking at this right now, like Wilton Manors up here, Fort Lauderdale by the sea in the top, going down to Hollywood in the bottom, and then Everglades in the ocean. This is my playground. I can do this whole thing also for South Florida or most of the US. I could even do this worldwide if needed, if the data supports it. To my knowledge, we are dealing only with US data for business analysts.
And when do you select? What I was curious about is when you select on something, when does it use your 3,000 points?
Exactly. Let me tell you. So what we're going to do is we're going to build something as a business facility search or multiple locations. We're going to play with them a little bit as multi-sites. So the dot right now here on the screen is Nova Southeastern University. I can actually name that just to make sure that we're not getting in trouble. Click on it, add site name, and call it just Nova. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Everyone is hungry? Mm-hmm. Everyone who had bad breakfast? Let's play with McDonald's. All right, so if I type in McDonald's with no apostrophe something, yeah, just McDonald's in one word, and then you can see here, I can limit the search for 1,000 results. Right now, this is where your credits come in game. Every time I run my request against the database, at some point of time, maybe not in the beginning, but at the end when you say you're done, you might get charged. So now you already say here, fine, how many results do I want? This is actually a fail-safe. Imagine I'm in this scale and it runs map extent. There are definitely more than just 1,000 McDonald's on there. So we got to keep this a little bit in the playground here. 1,000 is perfectly fine. So if I do this and say go, click on go, pops up with a bunch of more. All right?
These have nothing to do with the location of Nova, right? It's just a map.
Yeah, it's just a map. This is Nova. Because we added that in before, I can delete Nova just to keep it simple on the McDonald's. Yes, please.
Can you search all fast food restaurants, not just McDonald's?
You can search them all.
Okay, you just put in fast food and
You can do that. Let's keep it on McDonald's. Something about those golden arches. You got to do that. All right. So now, just looking at this, the pop-ups here is actually more locations or more businesses located with the name McDonald's. And the reason why I say the name McDonald's is if you look here at the refining results, there's even a McDonald's driving school, a GT McDonald, or McDonald and Crawford PS. That's not really what you want. I'm pretty sure the driving school is not delivering French fries. At least not during the driving school. Yeah? So you can also sort this or select this by the city, by the state, or by the zip code. So all the geographies you are having in that display, in that extent. Yeah? I also, because the database tells us the number of employees and the sales volume, I could also select this by sales volume. So if I want to know who or what are the locations that have more than $1 million in sales volume with McDonald's, I could select the sales volume here as something like 1 million or even more, you know? Huh? I don't want to do that. Right now, I'm just interested in that location thing. Okay? Everyone is on the same page with me? Literally on the same web page? James, you okay?
I'm just
Alright. Again, breathe. This is super easy, but we're jumping between buckets. That's the complicated part. Alright? Cool. So, I could go now and say, you know what? This is like using kayak.com or some other web pages when you look for airfare. And you say, oh, I don't want to fly with those. I only want to fly with them. I can go here and say McDonald's only. And click only. So now I only have 46 companies that are identified by the business name McDonald's. I could go in and say, I want to select them only by jurisdiction. Let's say Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And now I only have to, within the city limits of Fort Lauderdale, those selections. Yeah. That's rather bothersome, is it? How many fast food restaurants do we know? So, we have McDonald's, we have Burger King, we have Taco Bell, Wendy's. What else? Chick-fil-A.
Checker, Sonic.
Good luck with typing in all these, selecting them manually, and then not yet knowing how to merge data together. So there has to be a different way. Good thing that we can go back. We can X out McDonald's as a search. Because if you look down here, you see something which is called the NAICS code. The NAICS code is an industry coding system, which is literally like a VIN number or a zip code for your business.
Is this not something that's available via like the IRS or something like that?
Something like this. Yes. The NAICS code is an industry standard, and your businesses are categorized by that. Let's take a look at it. NAICS code, if you click on it, this is something that came up later before you had to know what's going on. It actually tells you here, the US Bureau of the Census, it tells you the description and the categories of that. So if you would be interested in food, you would know that food is 7.2 as a major list. Then, if you go further, you can dig down into the rabbit hole and you will find later on restaurants and other eating places. And the NAICS code you will need is the 722511. Because that's how a McDonald's and a Burger King is defined.
How do we know that that's what it is?
Huh?
He's done it before.
No, I know, but
I got published with that. Yeah, you gotta drill that down. That's part of your research. You gotta figure out, okay, which section is that? And
my question is, do we go into McDonald's and know that that's how they file? Or
because someone pays a lot of money to have all these surveys put in a database, yeah. And you basically is big databases. Yeah. So if you know that classification number 711, so 722.511. Yeah, I'm typing that in here in the NAICS base code and click OK, go. It pops up with a ton of industries. So why do you think we have a problem here and not seeing what's in Davie and in Sunrise?
We don't have that zip code selected.
Nope.
too many results?
Not enough results. It says 1,000 of 1,000 as a search result. So it doesn't go by space, it just goes how they come in the database. So it basically goes in and select everything that fits that NAICS code, boom, and grab it. Limit by 1,000. So if you want to do a research on, let's say, the Sunrise Davie area like this, you would have to zoom in more and do it again. Yeah? Or you open up your search patterns and try to navigate that. Whose hand was up? Miriam, what's going on? All right. All right. So, if I do this, I want to play with Davie. Now I can go in and say, well, see, I could select all these. Yeah. And in Davie. So let's do Davie alone. And I want to do only the McDonald's again. Yeah. And this one is actually false, because that's implementation. So I did click hide point. So it's not perfect, but don't have Davy on it? I gotta zoom out, zoom in. Or if you see Griffin, you should need to go a little bit north of Griffin, then here, Griffin. This is Griffin. This is Griffin, 75 on the side here, 595. All right. Do you have a similar result on your screen? Nope. All right. Quick moment. All right. If you don't have 13, if you have 6 like I had last night, or you have 20, that's completely fine. It's about the workflow and the process. You're looking good. I would zoom in a little bit more. You're looking good too. That's weird. That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Again, this is about the process. This is what we're doing right now. So, all right. I would make sure. Yes. You can do this with any of the smaller cities too. What I try is to have a small, fairly okay size in my pattern. Yeah. So now here, industry description, I can even go and say, okay, fine, I want to do just restaurants only. Yep, now it messed up. Davy only, McDonald's only. Yeah. So you need to be specific what you're looking for, because it can make changes. Okay? Again, if you have 10 or 20, it doesn't matter. If you end up being down somewhere in Miramar, it doesn't matter. It's the principle of the workflow. It's like I show you right now how to cut onions the right way with a sharp knife. Doesn't matter if it's a small onion or a big onion at this moment. It's about how to hold that knife and cut, okay? And not cut your fingers. And then we do carrots, celery, and then the salad is done. Okay? So, we did this drive time thing, did we? That was really cool. How do you do this right now here?
Drive area report, define area for
You gotta click a point to do the drive time.
Huh?
You have a point for what the drive time is.
So what you can do is pan and select, and you could select something. Oh, we're not done yet with the. But we're not done yet. Let's save this as a so-called layer, and click next. Now we can select the style. Let's do single symbols, points, and we just call it McDonald's. One step too fast. Again, the important part is that you have a few dots on your map right now. A few as in 30, below 30. Don't have thousands on there. Huh? It's just painful in terms of time for the next operations. Okay? So we take the style, which is great. We just take the yellow dots here, type in McDonald's as the layer name, and hit save. All right. And if I go to And if I go here to my overview, why are you so complicated today? Here we go. Go for next, and then we're doing done. And if I go to, here we go. I can see now that I have actually other locations, other layers, a McDonald's layer created today. Okay? If I look here at my table of content, which is usually popping up here to the left. Fine. Let's do drive time. Let's check one thing. All right, even that works. Perfect. We actually saved some tricks. Yes.
Where do we find that in the table of contents?
Usually it pops up here on the left side.
Custom reports.
Should be here. Let's go out, reload. It is sometimes inconsistent. Custom reports as our project. Yeah, it might be misleading for you guys if you look at custom report because we're dealing with custom reports here today as well. So, okay, project custom reports. Down here is the McDonald's. Yeah. Maps. All right. So there are different ways to solve the problem right now. I just found out another way. So just because you're doing this for a while doesn't mean that you know everything. So if you have explored these buttons here on the side, and don't be afraid, it's completely okay to say, yeah, we never use them. If you go up here, that's an important thing. Here's a clear map. Don't click it. If it's nice behaving, it will ask you, do you really want to clear your map? But there's also a pan and select. And the hand, we know, with the left mouse click, we shift this around. What's really cool here is if I click on pan and select and then hold my shift button down, I can now select all of these, okay? And they're slightly highlighted with yellow. And it says create sites for all selected locations. This is new. Wasn't in there like half a year ago-ish. Huh? That's the reason why I actually wrote down last night the other way. Just found that out. It works on self-created data. This is new on business analyst data. So I go and say create sites for all select locations. Yeah. And now I can say drive time 10 and 20 minutes. And I take out the 15. I want to run only 2 drive times.
Is it alright if we're not in the same exact area?
No, it's completely okay. The process is important. The workflow is important. You have to have 5 or 6 points minimum. If you have 50, it will take a little bit more computing time. Did you break it?
No, sir. Can you show us how to do the box again?
Selection. Super easy. I go here to pan and select. Click on it. Move over. Press the shift button. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Press the shift button and then just do a graphic select. Okay? Then I can choose between different options here. I will take now the create sites for all selected locations. Click on that. Go to drive time. Take 10 and 20 minutes, taking out with a backspace the third one. Because in theory now I only compute 2 zones. Okay? Now I'm going to click on options. Ha! It doesn't do that. Good. I gotta show you the other way around too. And if I do this now, I click on apply all to 13 sites in my case. I selected all of them. I created sites from selected locations. I ran a 10 and 20 minute drive time. And I called McDonald's sites. And let it create. All right. So I've zoomed in. You can see it did create drive times, but it created crap. Yes, please. I can't hear you, Miriam. 0 options, just 10 and 20 minutes. All right? So this didn't really work out the way we wanted. Huh? Because ideally, I wanted to have a map that says 20 minutes or 10 minutes, show me everything which is covered in 10 minutes. Right now, I created, for my 13 sites, 13 separate report zones. That's not what I want. What I want is location here, and in terms of circles, I want to show my drive time. And I want to dissolve this overlap. Yeah? Why? Because if I have another location here, and I have a drive time, I would like to see that gap, because this area here is undiscovered land for my 10 minutes drive time to McDonald's. Huh? This attempt right now did not work out. Let's do it the complicated way, and I'll see how that works out. Okay? Are you guys with me? So now we actually have a research idea. This is how you learn this. I would like to figure out how to get this away from that. Yes, Angelo?
How do we save that as a separate layer so we can go back to it?
Which one?
No, like the screen we're currently looking at.
It should be here in the sites. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I do clear map. Everything gone. Oh, but McDonald's makes life easier. Everything gone, but the McDonald's location. Keep this here. Keep the locations. Did it take it? Where are my McDonald's? It killed my McDonald's. I said keep it.
I think those are the different pins.
No. Ah, here we go. Again, I told you, sometimes it needs a little bit of flavor. So I disabled this, came back, reloads it. So if all your McDonald's are gone, do 2 things. Zoom in, zoom out to refresh the map. All right? And then go back here to your layers and deactivate, and activate so to make sure it reloads it. Alright? Still hungry? Still want to go for crappy food? All the green is here. Clear map. Clear the map. Select everything you want to weed out and hit clear.
It's hard to see, Professor.
Is that contrast? Can I change the color codes here? Settings. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Do I have? Apparently not. All right. Here on the right side, that little X is clear map. And you can do all, but for the purpose of the ease, everything but your McDonald's or fast food restaurant or whatever you want to select. Okay. Then do a refresh on the map, or make sure that you go here and double click a few times so it loads it. All right, we're back to the problem. We have multiple locations and we would like to show drive time around these guys in 10 minutes distance. And we would like to dissolve those guys, as in it will end up something like that with the locations. Huh? Everything that overlaps. Think about fried eggs. Everyone in this room did in their life or her life, his life, some fried eggs, okay? So if you do that, drop one egg into the frying pan, egg white goes, you're good if the egg yolk stays, and then you're doing the same thing with the next 2 or 3 eggs. And fried it. Easy side, the sunny side up. The egg whites will mingle and dissolve together. So this is pretty much the frying pan with your breakfast eggs. Sorry if you didn't get them today. Fridays, no breakfast. Saturdays. Okay, cool. We gotta go through this. So how am I going to deal with all these layers now? Well, what about ArcGIS Online? In ArcGIS Online, we have this map stuff too, don't we? Huh? Can we use that there? Maybe. Remember when I talked about buckets last week? That they're somewhat connected? Remember that? Cynthia's like, yeah, maybe. All right, well, let's take a look at the bucket. In ArcGIS Online, I'm looking at my content. All right. Everyone did switch. Then I'm going down to project data. BA project data. See that? I have something sitting here that's called custom reports layers. Custom reports, that is my project in Business Analyst Online. Again, we are tapping into the bucket. They're connected. So if I click here, custom reports, and scroll down, takes a moment to prepare, I see all these guys combined. Huh? These are all the McDonald's sites I just created. If I didn't create them prior to that, I can do the same thing here in ArcGIS. Huh? So what I'm going to do is now clicking on McDonald's sites down here on the corner here and say open in a map viewer. And it loads this whole thing for me. Just let's reflect that. You found those sites in Business Analyst. You extracted them, you created your own little layer, and you combined them. You don't have to combine them, but we did. If you didn't combine them, you can do a combination here as well, a selection. Right now we're pulling all together. Fingers crossed. So now I'm looking at business data generated on the other platform in my arc map. And I can go in and zoom closer with my mouse wheel. So you can see all the clown colors right now are the different locations of those dots of my businesses. Yeah. What do I want to show? Well, there are a bunch of fields inside. Remember, this is like crazy Excel tables. I could go with number of employees or the sales volume. Is this relevant right now for my location? No. So I'm completely okay with anything location only. And I'm okay. I'm just using these singles. Let me change a different color so you can see this. Symbols. I'm going to do the big green dots. Oh. Give me a moment. All right. Oops. Give me a moment. And I click OK. So what's the question? So what we did is we went down to my content, to my BA data. One tiny point. Change this to location. You have
That's what I said.
All right, who else needs some help? Whoa. What's that? In the project date. Yeah. Name it. You'll take it. All right. You're set. Okay, everyone. So in the content, you go on the content menu, you go to the BA report data. It's fairly on the bottom on the left. BA report data. Then you will see something that's called custom report layers. Custom report is the project right now we're in. Okay? If you click on that, it will load a setup that gives you all the layers that you can see in Business Analyst right now in a listing down here. And then you find that one McDonald's layer you created and you just click Open in Map Viewer. Oh yeah? How are you doing? Project data. Project data. That's okay. Go back to new content. And no one then go to project data, exactly. REE there. Looks okay. Why? I want to click refresh. Yeah. So you scroll down. Now you can see all the stuff in the says layers. And it should pop up the data you created in business records. That's it. Double dots, okay. Everyone sees locations of McDonald's. We get to the change style in a moment. Everyone, listen, guys. We have a ton of stuff to do. So, everyone has locations in any visual form on the screen right now. Yes or no? Who has no visual dots in any form or symbol on the screen? Alright, because we can change that in a second. Gotta have your points before you change the symbols for them. Okay. Magic. Let's do some magic. All right. You guys have something like this? Similar? Something like this? Like dots on a map symbolize the different markers right now. Yeah? Could be a circle, could be a school building, could be a dot. How do I do that? Well, something we haven't done yet. We didn't really explore how to make really cool maps in ArcGIS Online. Huh? So if I go on this one here, just hover over it, you can see those little tiny buttons and menu points coming up. See that? I can show the legend. I can take a look at the table. Or I can change my style. That's my symbology. Huh? So what you do in ArcBro as symbology is called style here. And you have tons of other options, and please note that there are 3 dots. 3 dots is more stuff. Look at all that. You have seen stuff like this in Bro if you have done work in the textbook already, or we'll see it today. I can also do perform analysis, which is going to be in 5 minutes. So if I don't really like those little pins, I go to change style, click on it. Then I can say, what do I want to visualize? Right now, I'm only interested in location. I don't care about the address, the name, how many employees or sales volume is in there. Just to give you the idea, if it's sales volume I'm interested in, I scroll down to sales volume. I select a style, and you can see it changes based on the attribute here. It changes, and I can actually make all these funny bubble charts now and see these are sales volumes. Let's just cancel this out. These are the amount of sales volumes on these locations. Remember, we had in the lecture, we had a discussion about population density in California, and we had like all the counties in color coded, and then just like bubble charts or circles, pie chart style. This is an easy way to display that. The problem is if you have hundreds or thousands of points right next to each other, they overlap. So for the message and the regional context, you need to change that. So you also could say, well, select the heat map, and you say the more yellow-ish the volume, and the lower for the blue. Makes sense if you have a lot of dots and you want to just show like say epicenters. Everyone has Snapchat in here? Yeah? It scares me. But ever tried a Snapchat web page? They have a heat map. They actually show like locations like this. This is where a lot of snaps have been taken. So during spring break, all this area here lights up, all the bars and the beach. So again, there are different ways to visualize that. For right now, we are workflow on the locations only. So if I do location only, it switches over, and I do options. And for you, so you see more, I click on the options on the symbol, and I do really big purple things. I have to deal with the contrast issues here. You don't have to select purple squares if you don't like them. But right now, I think this is, you can see what's going on.
I still have.
And I click OK.
Can you use,
But mine still shows like the location symbol.
You gotta click OK and done. Simple. Change. I did like 40. Again, you have different screeners. Say, OK. Click OK. And say done. It didn't change. You might actually you have two layers. Well, take this either this one. No, that's fine. That's fine. Where did you find that? We have one smart ass who's actually putting the McDonald's symbol on the map. All right. Hashtag how to call out a student. All right. Drive time. Drive time. How would I do a drive time in here? The full word we're looking for is drive time analysis. So wait a minute. There's a perform analysis here on the layer, and there's analysis up here. Two ways, same goal. I click on the big one. And now we can look at all these different options, and you can realize, hey, I've seen these symbols before. Some of them show up in Arc Pro. Yeah? So I've summarized data, find locations data. Right now, we would like to deal with proximity. And it says here, create drive time areas. Ooh, I like that. I click on this, and I'll get all the options I can select. This is when you click the top button on analysis. Let me go back. Let me go back and show you something else. If I go here for perform analysis in the layer, it knows exactly what I want to do. Actually, that's the same.
So will it do cross layer?
Well, no. We do a create drive time areas. We're doing the custom report layer, which is easy right now because that's the layer we only have right now. So if you do that over and over again, be aware you need to select that layer containing your locations of interest. Super easy to do an analysis of an analysis of an analysis, and you're suddenly like, I'm lost. Be precise what you want to do for what. Alright, so now, look, I can actually do all these different distances and times. We are doing just simple drive time. Now, this one is a little bit special. It will ask you for how many minutes do you want to drive or visualize, but to output multiple areas, for each point, you need to comma separate these. Space separate them. Space separate. Full minutes. So if I do 10, space 20, it will calculate 10 and 20 minutes for me. Okay? Everyone got that? Alright. We're not going to use traffic. We're keeping it simple. We're not going to plot this for a Monday. We're keeping it simple. But on step 3, it asks us, what do you want to do for these different drive areas? And we want to dissolve. We want to have all the egg whites, all the egg whites flow together. Yeah? That's the most perfect example in terms of cooking and GIS. Bunch of eggs in your frying pan, no egg yolk destroyed, whites and yellows, and all the whites are in one. Alright? That's what we call dissolve. Down there. And it gives us the idea what's going on. If we don't know what's going on, we click on the info button. The info button explains all this. Yeah? Then we can call this, we can name it. Yeah? Right now, by standard, it actually says travel to blah, 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 blah. And then it gives us a 10 and 20 minutes because we typed in 10 and 20 minutes. And save results in. That's the bucket you're working with. Huh? For Max, we have now here show credits. If I click on the show credits, this operation will cost me 13 points. It's one reason why I said, hey guys, keep it in low numbers for the workflow. You don't need 1,000 locations. All right? If I X out, also listen, I'm using here the current map extent. So I'm making sure I am not going to explode all over in the United States. Okay? And then I hit OK or run analysis. Everyone ready for running this? Any questions so far? Let's run it. Okay? Depending on how many data points you have, it might take a few seconds, it might take a minute or two.
So I have a question while we're waiting. How do they get the sales data? Because some of them are private businesses, and how do you get it?
It's reported. Worst case survey, reported on survey data. the amount of data mining and data surveying that feeds into those databases is tremendous. But it also could be IRS, Chamber of Commerce, any other business reports. The catch is some of the data is potentially self-reported.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the numbers of employees as in full-time.
What about top line?
Error.
Like a top line number like sales.
It didn't like me. Let me finish this.
Mine does the same thing as go.
Yep, that's what's not supposed to happen. Now what? Let's do just 10 minutes. Dissolve and let it run again. It did work last night. Yeah, let's figure this out. On Monday or Sunday, they had some issues with the PDF generators. So if you started the assignment the moment after I actually posted the assignment, none of those PDFs got generated. And of course, this is a Labor Day weekend, and you're like calling in California, no one there. So let's see. If this fails, I have the preparation data, and these can show you what you're supposed to expect. Here we go. So 10 minutes is pretty tight. If you zoom in, this is the only spot, the white stuff here, which is currently not covered in a 10 minutes drive time analysis from our selected locations. That's the reason why I probably bombed, because 10 and 20 minutes is too much overlap. Let's give you an idea. Let's do this visual so we can move that on. Let's do again proximity, create drive time for literally like 5 minutes. Yeah. Select here my points, my McDonald's sites. Measure is drive time 5 minutes.
You have to do it from the same old layer, not the new layer you just.
Same old layer. You gotta select your old layer here.
5 minutes?
Let's do 5 minutes. Dissolve. And let's call it 5 travel so it's easier to find. And run it again. The reason why I'm doing this again, I want to show you those gaps. The overlap and the gaps. Yes, Miriam? I can't hear you. All right, let me show you. One feature with the report. So if you run the drive time, sites. This is all right. Got it? I like just that. Proximity, drive time. 5 minutes, just to 5 minutes. Just 5. Just simplify. Solve. That's fine. It's just let's see what comes up. All right. So in the dark purple right now, you can see these are my 5 minutes. Okay? Which makes sense. You also can see, remember we talked about isochronous lines, drive time, driving distance. These are major streets. So along the major street, you can actually get more travel time done. Yeah. One thing to understand that this right now is 1. This is not, in my case, 13 drive time areas. This is 1. And this is the cool part. First of all, I can use this for visualization, because visualization doesn't matter in terms of if it's one of multiples, but it looks good if I want to show, hey, listen, you know what? I want to be here just for visuals. Where are the gaps? I want to be here with my next enterprise, because this is where I can find more data.
So is that the reason you separated it out into different layers instead of having the 10 and 20 in the same?
The 10 and 20 failed because they're so close, the locations are so close that a 10, look, the 10 I did here, the 10 is continuous. If I want to show gaps, I need to make sure that I'm looking at gaps. Right now, if I say 10 minutes, look, all of Western, Pembroke Pines, and Sunrise is covered by those McDonald's locations. Not mentioning, I have more than that as fast food restaurants in that area. It's like kind of mind-blowing. Like how we cover industrialized food with all that. Not complaining about it. It's an interesting business concept. Could be healthier. Huh? I had a burger last weekend as a lunch replacement, so not judging. But to teach you the workflow and the first steps of spatial analysis, the 10-minute and 20-minute with these many locations didn't work. Yeah? Worked last night, because last night I only had 6 on the script. All right, so if I look at the 5 minutes, yeah, looks okay. So imagine if this is my covered area of multiple locations right now, multiple sites, what could I do now with the tools we have learned so far?
Where should you put the next McDonald's? Where should you're gonna build a McDonald's, and where you should?
Yeah. I also could ask the system, hey, what else do you know about that covered area? This is drive time. What did you guys do for the assignment? You use drive time to do what?
Data.
To data mine, to generate reports. So all this buzzing here right now is about, let's generate a report. How do I put this back into business analytics to generate my report? That's the next step. So how do I put this back in? Well, first of all, I could save this as a map. Let's call it drive time map. A tag, I don't really care. I usually say test space. And then I save it in the BA project data folder. I want to make sure it's in the same bucket. If for some reason you get an error message, use your initials. Shouldn't get a problem in this moment with this type of work, but all right. So let's go back to business analyst. How did I do that? So these are my locations. Now I'm going to add data. Here, add data, web maps and layers. All right, let me do this again. In Business Analyst, I'm going here on Add Data, Web Maps and Layers. All right, everyone got that? Click on here, And if I'm playing with my content here on the left side, I can filter this for my content in project data. Look, this looks darn good to me as the layer we just created in ArcGIS Online. Everyone can concur on that? Everyone sees that similar thing? I'm going to take a quick break after that, so if you're stuck right now, let's use the break. So if I go in here, first of all, it tells me, hey, you could use that for other analysis. If I just hover on the symbol, yeah, and I click on here on add, just a layer, 5-minute travel.
Didn't we save it as drive map? Drive time?
Yeah, but I'm only interested in this one layer.
So what you're saying?
I saved the whole salad, but right now I just take out the onions.
Oh, okay. So
I could, look, if I go on drive time map, I can select this later. I want to make it easy. I know exactly 5 minutes travel time is the one I want.
But I don't have.
If you only want pineapple, you don't get the whole fruit salad.
right.
It's 9:30, it's breakfast time.
So it shows us how to basically, if we had more layers on our thing in the GIS system, it would show us.
It will show you every layer you create.
Okay, and then you can select which one.
And if I'm logging in as the administrator, I will see all of yours being created. So go figure. 26 students, there are 28, 29 accounts in that class because of different levels. And every exercise, at least 5 or 6 items. It's getting a little bit complicated, but it's not, it's okay. All right, so now I'm going to say add. And I did add in Business Analyst the drive time coverage we created in ArcGIS Online. This is exciting, guys. No. Realize that. Realize that. You just created a complete circle of an analysis. You went online, found, based on the Nike's code, the business locations in that category, fast food restaurants. You selected locations following under the idea of McDonald's locations and certain geographic areas. Then you took saved that data, transformed that into a combination of sites, not locations, sites, as business analysts distinguish, put that into the other system, pulling the data out of the bucket, ran a drive time analysis, one failed, the other one was successful, for 5 minutes, put it back into the bucket, switch to the other system, and now you visualize it here. With the idea, if I click on it, see that? How it changes the hash? Now I can use that whole thing and run an infographics on it. Or a report. So if this is my McDonald's, my 13 locations, and I want to know for marketing purposes, hey, how much income is in 5 minutes drive time from my locations right now? And how much money do I make? Do I need to change my strategies? Do I need to change locations? Do I need to change marketing or something, or the products? I can run a simple infographics. Might take a moment because it's a bizarre setup. And I get right now the key facts. Or I change the key facts here from key facts to something else. Let's say the marketing profile. Yeah, population, median age, median household income, etc. pp. I can deal with all that. All right, fine. Let's take exactly 5 minutes break. Stretch your legs, refresh air. Next steps is customizing reports. Well, give me a moment. Hey, Ryan. Where's Ryan? Are you actually recording this?
No, you are.
Okay.
I just got automated. I just my job. That little application.
Yes, you lost your job. There you go, panel select. Yeah, because you have other dots open there. Go back. Deactivate those guys. And on the top left, you have McDonald's sites. Are those the ones you selected? No.
Yep.
Where's your McDonald's there? That should be your McDonald's there. Did you work with a different selection? Well, then take this one and pull it over. You can the same process as this. You can pull over. I don't know what you did here. All right, save that map in ArcGIS Online. Save the map. Save that map. All right. All right. I saw you.
So now,
Okay, now you go in Business Analyst and you say add data. Yep.
I need to delete here.
Let's keep focus on project data.
Right. I'm not copy.
Let's take that one. Say add.
So when you added the one that you added,
No, I only
minutes.
I only pulled in the
5
I only put in the 5 minutes separate. That's
So-
fine. What you did right now, you put the whole thing as a combination of both. That's fine too, because now if you X out,
Oh, why did my 5 minute not have a point?
yeah. But if you now X out and go to custom reports or the layer thing, you now can activate which one you want. So web maps, take a look at web maps left. Web maps on the left side, you can actually, if you click on the, don't be trigger happy, if you click on the arrow on the left side, yep, and the other one too, now you can activate and deactivate what you want to display. She's first. That looks good. A lot of computing data.
Oh, that's good.
Hi. Oh, so many sites. Breathe. First rule.
I wish.
Breathe. Alright, show me your ArcGIS map.
I can't get it open there.
Why not? Just click over there. ArcGIS Online. Where's your ArcGIS Online book? Okay, go to content. You go to EA report, data, report,
A little
Where's the stuff? Alright, you can
Take on the evidence is best. When I never, whatever I see, I never transform it.
gotta change it. Let me share. Let me see if I can share the view. Quick question first. Moises Gonzalez. Moises Gonzalez in Mexico?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's a skateboard.
About this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just leaves you. He just leaves you, and you're like,
Don't know why.
No, but he's good.
Yeah. Also, if you do business analysis work, at some time when you save data, export data, they truncate it. They cut off the data for contract locations. So all the locations that you see on the map, perfectly fine. You can't export the addresses. You will export, instead of 100 Main Street, you will export Main Street. So it will geomask all that, so you can't really use it. You can't use it for second purposes. Alright, let's see. Erica. What was Erica? Brittoni. Oh, hey guys, 5 minutes are way over. So let's see. Erica, if we can do this for you.
Oh, that's right. 775.
See, that's the problem. I don't know.
Oh, it ended up in McDonald's ended up in Mass.
There we go.
I have got it now in
Alright, can you see it now? Alright, go to business analyst and data. Read. Clear the map, come on. Clear the map. Breathe, girl. Maximize everything. Click on here. Clear the map.
Sorry.
I couldn't find it.
Just clear off.
Oh, you're not. Yeah. I'm looking for this. Clear the map. Huh? Everything but this. A lot of boxes. But we don't really need this. Alright? Let's clear everything. Alright? So what we're going to do is now you get introduced in a special way of data sharing. So web maps. And now let's see.
I think we gotta go to a new map.
All my groups here, part of it, part of the net fall. Everything you accidentally shared that on purpose. No, I can't.
No.
Okay.
All right, I'll go home.
Thank you.
That's what we need here,
Doc.
Okay, customizing reports. Guys, you gotta go to the.
Like I need it.
How many minutes did you do?
Well, there was man, I 10, 20 minutes.
All these thoughts are so close. What are the sites? That's way too many results. Yeah, so you probably would have this. That's completely right, but probably have this as other businesses in there. And then why you ended up with Polygons rather than just check with you automatically. So you just got too much. So you go thank you to the business analyst.
You think about it.
X out here. Clear the map.
I thought it would have been
All of it.
as soon as you started. That's what I called him and said. I was like, I don't have to wait.
And go add data.
That's awesome. Green light or basketball.
Web maps, layers. And now you go to micro
Go
groups.
down here.
To take 5 minutes. That I just shared. So click add. Just add. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Good. You hear me okay? You need to come in first rule, girl.
Who's going to take swings at it? I'll probably go 1v1, but
Oh, yeah, you're in pro.
it's a big crappy pass there with the course.
We don't do Arc Pro right now. Open it later. Go to Arc. This is nice.
And you have? Shouldn't pass it yet. Yeah.
Drive that man.
I got it my first freshman.
We have 5 minutes. Let's get rid of this. Oh, don't worry about this. We are going to do the next big step. You generated your drive time area, so put it back in. That's fine. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. This was data management in between. All right. So if we can't keep 5 minutes as a break, we don't do breaks anymore. I'm doing a Dr. Foggy on you guys and do just 4 hours straight. All right. He does that. There's no break. All right. So if I want to do reports now, I will do simply go in here, pan select, click on the area, it gets highlighted, and reports. Hey guys, I understand you guys exchange information with your neighbors, but if I start lecturing, please give me the moment of the doubt that I want to educate you, because after 2 classes trying to speak over that noise level, the voice is gone for 2 days. So I can't help you guys with any other stuff. All right, reports. I try to do this also in a setup as in I show you where we're going on the big screen and then you can follow. And I repeat if needed. I'll repeat at least once if needed. So you guys have to have a system up with my screen, big screen, my screen. It's complicated. It's nerve-wracking. It's draining. Draining as in D. So please stay with me. All right, so I can go here on reports. We did infographics for a moment. And I can select all the stuff we have seen before. I don't want a predefined report right now. Yes?
How do you pull up where it says report? Go back.
I clicked on here on the hand, pan and select, clicked on my covered area, and then say reports.
Okay.
Yeah? So I get a button, it's called still web map sites because that's why I pulled it in. I can do the reports. There are other options I can do. Right now I'm just interested in reports. It might appear here and there something different. But the idea literally is like you go pan and select, go over the covered area, the 5 minutes we did, and you take reports. If that's the case, you can say select reports to run, and you get all these predefined ones. I don't want that. I think you're hungry enough to figure out, hey, I want a customized report. I want like 5 variables from different report sections. How do I do that? Well, I X out here. I go to reports. Here, reports. I can run predefined reports. I could do comparisons between different sites. Now, we had one site and we have multiple sites as one right now. I could do multiple different areas, like zip codes or cities, and could compare them if needed. Yeah? I can build the infographics if I want to go fancy, or I can build a report. Create custom report templates for analysis on your sites. So I click on this, just a simple click. Yeah? And there are 2 different ways. Build a report from an existing report or a section of variations, or build a report from variables starting with a blank template. I encourage you guys to do as homeworks and a fun number 1. Let's do the complicated part right now. Let's get started. I'm still recording? Yeah. Get started. All right. What do I see right now? I see on the left side, I see a tab that says select reports. That's the predefined stuff. Also select variables. So depending on the level of your interest, your eagerness, and your craziness, you can do one or the other. Select reports is a little bit easier. Why? Because if I click on a business report, the business report comes in, let's say, as a retail marketplace profile, something we have seen before. I don't want to do things I've seen before. I want to do variables. The reason why I want to do variables right now is because I want to torture you guys literally with a brain melt of what you can find in there. Let's do the usual suspects. Well, I would like to know something about age. Age. Is here. It's the usual suspect. Browse. Now I get even the popular variables, the 2010 median age in absolute numbers or by index, or the 2018 total population 18 and older, absolute numbers or percent share of that population in that area. Or, I don't know, and I just type in age and search for it. Now you can see, hallelujah, I have a problem. I really need to know what I want to talk about, because right now I get lost in the data forest. There's so many trees and you're straight in front of one that you don't see the forest anymore. If you do customized reports for an internship, for study project, yeah, we have one here. You need to define what is your research interest to make sure that you pick the right variables. If I want to do some study over college students, 65 plus in age group might not be the best way to do it. Because the stereotype of a college student is, let's say, 20 to 30 years. Actually, college is 18 to 23, depending where you're at. I used to teach at an institution where the average graduation age of an undergraduate was 26.4 years. You need to know that because that university used to be a university where non-traditional students would go. Same here with us. Non-traditional student means they have different patterns in work, different lifestyle. They might be single parents. They might be ex-military and coming back after a few years of duty, and they're in the lower 30s, using their GI Bill. On that note, thank you for your service. So you need to understand what you want to do with this. Just to give you the idea. Here, I can search by year, reporting year. Those are estimations in some cases. I can search here again by age, by gender, go in even by race. Why? Because I'm running this against all population data. This is a little bit complicated, so I go back. Go back to age. And right now I just say total population over 18, but in percent. All right? To make it more simple, I can also select the increments, how many years of increments I would like to have. This case, in that category, it only gives me 1 year increments, so that's fine. I didn't get more.
See how you got that dot right there?
No.
Show all age variables.
Blind. No.
On your right? 1 year increments, 5 year increments.
That's yeah, you're right. Let's open this up so you see this better.
So your screen it's collapsed a little bit different than ours. Ours is like a bigger screen so we can see a little bit more.
Yep.
Sometimes.
See that, but this is the 5 years increment. Where's my 18 plus plus? Here. Total population 18 plus plus in percent 5 year increment. Okay? And now the magic happens. Drag and drop. Alright. It looks a little bit different on your screen than my screen. I moved this around. Yeah? I moved in this whole search thing. I had age. I was interested in the total population age 18 plus plus in percent. Now I can see the 5 year increments. Yeah? You need to dig through all this, and you can find at the end the 2018, what was it? ESRI, the ESRI numbers. The ESRI numbers, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. After all the intervals here, there's the aggregated stuff. 18 plus, select percent. And once I activated all that, I highlight this, left click, drag and drop over into my template. Do you see that? Okay, I just did that.
But you already have the 5.8. You know it already. He was
showing it as a repeat, what I did. All right, so what I can do now is I click here on sample values. And it will show you here now as an example. It will populate this with sample data. This is not yet the data you will see. This is just to check if that's the format you anticipate. Okay? So we have age 18 and above. We are dealing with adults. What else could we use as a variable? Any ideas? Any interest?
Single parents, is that possible to look up?
Well, let's go back to the select variables to the very first beginning and type in single parent and search for it. No result found. Is it reported as single parent?
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. Maybe you have to dig this out and say actually it's household data and it's called single adult household, I think, or household with one head of household. This is census data.
If you click household, it gives
Household
Click the house.
or households. Here we go. See all households variable. So now you can go in and check this size, type, family household, husband, wife, other family household, other household, so non-family. So I'm not going to dig completely through that, but you can find that.
6 months?
Huh?
We have this for 6 months?
You have that until probably the end of August next year.
How did you get all variables?
I clicked on the button. Here, if you go to households, on the bottom here is all households. Yeah? So you can go through this, household type,
Here it is, presence of children.
presence of children, like here, living alone in non-family. I just click one to give you an idea. Total family household census, drag and drop, percent. Yeah? What else? Income. We had income, huh?
And this is all for the report that we're looking at for the McDonald's thing, right?
No, we are creating right now, to back this up, we are creating our own new customized report. We can use this report, this template, for any of the market areas we want to test.
So it's going to be like another layer, just like that.
It's going to be a report you can generate for anything else. The drive time work we have done last week and through the assignment, you could use that same report for 20 minutes away from this university. You can use that for 20 minutes away from your parents' home. You can use that for any location you want to plug in into your business analyst.
So you create your own kind of
template
for what you want to know about an area, and then you can switch the area.
Of course.
But you don't have to recreate the template. You can just
No.
create the template.
Give me 2 more variables, and we're going to do that. So let's do. What else do we have? Something else is
What's Tapestry?
Tapestry data. Tapestry data is lifestyle data. Tapestry data is, hey, you're 23, you're a sports student, economics minor, and this is your yogurt type you have in your fridge.
Okay.
This is how I learned strategic marketing. This is consumer segmentation and market segmentation. Yeah? Where you can say, well, what are the young urbanites versus the metropolitan people versus the suburbanites versus empty nesters? Well, let's take a Tapestry data set to show you that. 2018 dominant Tapestry data segments. And plugged it in here on the separate. Which means it will give us the idea of what are the typical population types in our area. As an example, if you would run a report and you would take a look at Coral Gables, University of Miami down there, you will probably get a specific amount of college students in the age groups and lifestyle groups. Yeah? Versus if you go to Boca Raton or no, Western, Boca has FAU. If you go to Western, the amount of college students living there and doing lifestyle is probably lower. Unless they data mine the folks that live with their parents. So think about this. You're taking a variable, market research you're interested in. You create that report. It's almost like a baseball now. And you just throw that baseball at any location you want. And every time it hits that location, it will produce that report. Think about this. Well, some of you have not had that class yet. If you do financial modeling in real estate, Excel spreadsheet. You have an Excel spreadsheet and you say, hey, this is my new site I'm interested in. That's the acreage, that's my construction cost, and that's what I want to build in terms of square footage. You go to the other side, site B, that's my acreage, that's my construction cost, that is what I want to build. And the Excel spreadsheet runs like a template based on your system. That's the same thing here. It gives you a procedure. It's like, go to this one side, take a picture, and come back. Go to the other side, take a picture, and come back. The template is, go and take a picture. All right? Let's keep this, save this whole thing.
But it's like a picture with your filters that you
Yep.
want to.
And I want to type this in as first attempt. So you guys know, okay, this is the first failure we have done. All right? Save. Okay? So now it tells me run a report on the bottom right for my screen. So I can do that. If I do that, it will ask me which sites it's at. It's way too complicated right now. So I go back to maps. No, we don't run it. I wanted to show you that it is a complicated option. So if I go back to my maps, and I have this area coming up here, I pan and select, I select on it, I go to reports, and fingers crossed, if the system worked right and we saved it, it will have now customized reports, as in my reports. Shows up here and it says first attempt. If I do this, click first attempt, it gives me the option again, like we did before with the standardized reports, HTML or Excel or PDF, in this case PDF, and I run this report. Yeah.
And is that costing us any points?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I say open report. Okay, for the covered area, you can see this first attempt is very, very just bones. More likely like phalanges, finger bones only. You see the age in that area by percent. Yeah? Most of them are adults, not acting like them, but mostly. Then you see that there's in that covered area here, in this covered area, almost 68% are family households. Or it's just 70. 68% within 68% of households within 5 minutes drive time to those presented locations are households, family households. How to read that data, how to read that report. And then you have here the Tapestry market segmentation is Tapestry type 8C. Now you have to go back and look up what 8C is. We're not going to do this for the purpose of time. We're not going to do this today. That's additional fun stuff. So what?
Can you run your templated report based on the proximal factors of those points?
That's what we did. Your report right now shows the proximity of 5 minute drive time to those points. All right. You want to use a different site to produce that? Just simple. Go anywhere you want. Drop a pin or click on it. Add rings or drive time. Drive time is just do 20 minutes. One single 20 minutes in this case. Hit apply, have it run. Run a report, select the report, use your own first attempt, run. Open. This template we just created within the last 5 minutes. We just ran that on a complete different site. Population has changed, family households have dropped because we have different area, and you can see different dominant tapestry.
So you just chose a new location in the report.
Yep. And it shows here on the top what was the site. Yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff with that. If you have the time for that. Okay.
So when you did the first one, the 20-minute drive time from...
The little reddish area here now, right now, is from the random selected site here, which is Griffin and 595. All this orange stuff here you see is 20 minutes drive time. Based on road classification, I did not run this with traffic patterns. You can run this with traffic patterns because 20 minutes down to Miami, yeah, only at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. Yeah. In your Maserati. Okay. Ready to do more damage in Business Analyst?
Yes.
Well, this is the cool part because it's web-based. You can do this stuff on your iPad. You literally can sit on the couch and draw the stuff. It's way more easier on a computer.
Or we'll be driving around to sites.
Yeah, but you should do your homework before you go to the site. So, yeah. Speaking of, those 3,000 points I gave you are educational. So, I don't really go in and control what you guys doing, but think about that. This is for your learning purposes and for studying in the program, and it's not making big money now with market research. Yeah? Keep that in mind.
Can I buy more?
Yeah, or you can get a commercial license and run your own account.
Which I had a question of what is the average cost to run one of these accounts and keep it updated? Like, the example where you said you've got maybe a developer who bought this program 3 years ago, hasn't kept it updated. Clearly there's a benefit to.
So there are different licensing models here, and the licensing models have changed over the past years. Most everything now is subscription based. So what you could do is, in the old school setup, you buy a standalone single-use license. That's what they want you to do after the license in the book has expired. They say, hey, buy this ArcMap license, or ArcPro license. So there are different prices you can pay for that, depending on the level of tools you get into the license, if it's a basic, standard, or premium, as an example. And is it buy it once and keep it? Or is it subscribe for it for a year maintenance? Last time I checked price levels for the stuff I want to do and need to do, I looked at a single payment of $14,000 or a subscription of like $3,500 per year.
Okay.
So, but that's me being a multiple decades geek, where I say I need that specific level of in-depth tools.
If you're making $100,000 off of $3,000 a year, it makes sense.
I don't know if that works. I'm not going to tell you my business concepts. Yeah? But then you have the subscription-based online world, where in the subscription-based online world is you get your ArcGIS online account or your business analyst account. They go somewhat hand in hand because BAO builds on top. Those are fairly okay in pricing. I think you can get both for $1,000. That's prices from last year, October last year. You get pretty much them for $1,000 for a 1 year subscription. With business analysts, you actually have to purchase 5 users and stuff like this. So there are different setups. And then you can buy online credit points. Well, last time I checked, if you do that, you drop about $100 for 1,000 points. And I have not seen that there's a difference between an educational account that's managed via my administration and an outside account. But yeah, so give you an idea why this is really awesome that we actually have this kind of bulk consumption here, and we can say, okay, fine, for the purpose of 1 year training, 2 colleges, pretty much a university right now, is pulling in a bulk rate, and we can pass that through to those students to give you actually a better deal than you would go outside and do your own thing. That's the reason why your accounts are these underscore RED or HCP, depending which level. Yeah? So you have that unique account that is associated with that class or with the college. So there are different ways to do that. It also depends what you're doing. If you're a non-profit, well, most of that stuff is free for non-profits. If you're education, depending on what level of education you are, certain prices difference. But industry, the old school setup, ArcMap, I hope we need to get to it today. The ArcMap setup, multiple thousands. If you want to set up a streamlined GIS workshop without buying data, just set up, I would guesstimate right now 10 to 15. With data, the Business Analyst Online is available as well to download as on your desktop or your laptop. The education version of that is $7,000 per year. Per year. So what you see right now is just a glimpse of that 40 gigabyte data set you would have to put down on your laptop. So yeah, GIS is cool, but there are some serious, significant knowledge and payment options you need to deal with. And to be honest, the GIS market in South Florida is interesting, as in job market. It's interesting if you, let's say, want to work as a GIS analyst. You're doing more money as a financial analyst in real estate than for the GIS stuff. And I have to say the GIS stuff is probably more challenging because you have to have this spatial thinking, not just an Excel spreadsheet. And don't hit me for that comment, guys, but it's true. Folks, like business people saying that's the reason why they leave. A GIS manager, just for the fun of it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, GIS manager in Lower Miami, like almost your Homestead area, would make 80 to 100. That is a manager, runs 15 people in a shop, multiple years of experience, 10 years minimum experience, master level, if not PhD in geography or GIS. With cost of living in that area, no way. That's the killer. So 100K in GIS is easy made money if you know what to do. I have a friend who's doing criminal justice and public defender work. She travels nationwide, complaining about it all the time. Her Facebook comments are, I have 36 hours to do this and that. And we're like, she's going to get 5 hours of sleep. Depending on which systems you're working. So in the past years, systems have changed, workflow has changed. So my mission today is to show you the different systems, not pricing discussion. Pricing discussion is very interesting. I was asked to do some GIS consulting and said I cannot use the Nova license. And this project, I priced the project for $8,000 with $12,000 in licensing. I'm like, no. That shop actually offered to buy the licensing, but then the timeline didn't work out. They said, we want to establish that, and then can you give us an intern from your students to build that? I'm like, fine, cool. But they needed to get the stuff done in 6 weeks, where you teach parallel classes and have a full-time job as a professor to enlighten you guys. It's not going to work. Big trouble to have. Speaking of big trouble to have, what else do we need to know? So we did point locations. We did one site manually picked multiple times. We did multiple sites and moved through those buckets. You guys are with me on this one? James is like, oh, I need coffee. Huh? I understand in 4 hours of training in here, there's moments that you check out. I try to establish milestones in between. So right now, if you checked out before, please check in, because now we're doing a different setup. So if you didn't succeed with your customized report, as an example, we are doing something different now. You can go back to the customized report. No idea about the audio quality, but the image quality is going to be great on this one, on that video, because we are screenshotting all of that. Audio quality, I probably scream. We'll see. It's going to be fun to video edit 4 hours straight. Might cut it in pieces, which would be Monday rather than Sunday. Yes?
This is a question for the revenue side. Are they pulling that from SEC reports?
Don't know. To be really blunt, there's a huge data vendor environment behind all that. That's the reason why some of the data you see on the screen right now you can't download, or if you download it, it loses the address. Like all the business locations of McDonald's, if the address would be 100 Main Street, you open up the table and download that Excel table or into an Excel, it will say now 100, not instead of 100 Main Street, it will say Main Street. So you can't go back and put it on a different map, or you can't pull all these numbers or addresses and use them for, let's say, mailings. That's not possible. There are contracts behind that. They changed that last year. So Info USA is one big data vendor. D&B is one big database. All the other companies. So even if you look here at census data, it's SRE maintaining that as an example. Every time you pull up variables and says census or SRE, so that's where they come from, and where they, let's say, do the estimate. The estimate of population for 2023, someone did those calculations. So now, for really scientific, robust research, you would need to go into the catalog and say, what is the definition and how did they estimate that? Employment data.
Sourcing.
Yeah, sourcing. Employment data. Where's that employment data coming from? Does a McDonald's have 100 employees at that location? Well, they found out somewhere or found a reporting on that. Could be reporting by McDonald's because they paid them and say, hey, all your locations, how many employees? It doesn't say if it's full-time employees. It doesn't say if it's part-time employees. It doesn't say if it's seasonal employees. Just to give you that idea.
Will they give you the back-end granularity or no?
You gotta dig through that. They are fairly solid on the standards, and they can defend those standards quite well. So if you go in SRE web page and go through all the data reports, particularly let's say for the Tapestry data, lifestyle data, you can, for being justifiable in front of your investors, like, hey, I've done this market research. These are my college students, or this is my lifestyle segment 8C. What does 8C mean? So you need to translate that towards your audience to tell your investors, okay, if we use this side, we want to build, let's say, student housing or student-friendly housing, but we're also looking at this area and we see this particular group, single parents. This would be ideal also because of their income, of their household size, their needs, and blah, blah, blah. And you can plug that in. Like, it's mind-blowing, unlimited options you can present. The only limit is to which extent is the data available and to which extent can you trust that data as feasible. Yes, there's laundry detergent and tells you in a certain drive time the annual expenditure is $6.48 for Davy around Costco for, let's say, 10 minutes. Is that relevant? I'm not sure. I would rather say, up to $10 is okay, or just about $5 to be more conservative. $6.48 doesn't tell me enough. Huh?
Does Esri publish their Tapestry?
Yeah. Search to help. All right. Cool. Let's clear the map. Clear the map. Clear them all. All right. All of it. All of it. Clear the map means all of it is visually gone. It's still in your bucket.
It's still in the bucket.
Still in the bucket. So if I go back, just look at my buckets. Here, report data. It's all still in the buckets. All right. So let's do define areas. Define areas as in define areas for a report. We did this find location stuff. That's nice. But in real estate, particularly those who are doing residential sales still as an agent, you might want to take a look at select geography. Remember, we can slice and dice the world into layers. All right. I'm in my map. I go define areas for reports, and I go select geography. All right. If I do that, I can go and search, select from a map or full list. Let's do a select from a map. If I do a select from a map, it now shows me everything I can slice and dice, the different grain, Angelo said, for the United States administrative boundaries. I can do United States, states, counties, zip codes, now we're dealing with census data, census tracts, block groups within the census tract. Then at some point there's even the blocks within the block groups, or I can do metropolitan areas, cities, congressional districts, or county subdivisions if they're in the area.
Is the county subdivisions portions?
Don't know. But the county is separated based on the FIPS codes. Don't know. The reason why I don't know is because I never did those subdivisions work. You want to click on it? You want to play with it? the cities, sorry. Go back.
So
County subdivision, click on county subdivisions. You will see that the map has changed. There's now some other lines, and I could click simply in a county subdivision and it activates it. So yes, there are subdivisions. Huh? That's not what I want to demonstrate. I want to deal with zip codes. I want to also need to unselect the county subdivisions. I want to do zip codes. So if you do zip codes, you get all these zip codes as an overlay. And you will see, if you zoom in, you even get the number displayed. Okay? So if I'm interested in what's going on in one specific zip code or its neighboring zip codes, I could say, hey, the zip codes along Griffin Road, east of, let's say, the Turnpike, are of interest. So this is the Turnpike. Clicking here on Davie. Clicking here on Cooper City. Clicking here on the 3330. All right. So I have 3 zip codes selected along that corridor. Between 75 and somewhat the Turnpike. All right? Angela is smiling. Angela knows what's coming. Got that? Down at the bottom, do you want to combine geographies into one site? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Keep yes, click next. So now this whole thing pops up as 3 zip codes. I can name that now as, let's say, Griffin Corridor zip code, something like that. And you can see all these options now. Sites have been saved. What do you want to next? Get reports, site. I click done, so this is done, but my site is still selected. If not, I can click here, select. Now, I'm going to run a report on those 3 zip codes. Combined zip codes. Run a report, select the report. Why don't I run the first attempt report we just did for the other stuff? Run it. Open it. Now I'm looking here. The biggest change I can see is Tapestry data 1D. Need to look that up at some point. Okay, this is not really telling us. Yeah, we got to look that up. I need to go through the essentials. Different example is, well, let's do a community profile report. Open it. Now, this is something we have seen before. This is giving you more in-depth information about what's going on. Okay?
which one was that?
A community report, one of the predefined. Okay. Draw a polygon. There's another way to add data to the map for reports. I could draw a polygon. Draw a polygon around an area of your interest. Let's say, I don't really care of the lower ends here of Cooper City and Southwest Ranches. I'm interested in actually really that corridor here. Okay? Let's get rid of this. Let's deactivate that so it doesn't bother us watching it. Yep, in case you haven't seen it yet. This is your table of content. Clicking on this little button here on the checkbox enables visuals or not. Homework. When you sit down in the evening, alone in front of your laptop or your computer. Disregard that part. Maybe with a glass of wine. Now listen again. Just play with this stuff. There's so many little simple make life easy options. Yeah.
I am beyond confused. I don't think I'm the only one confused.
Yeah, I understand that. But see, just look at, oh look, what happens if I click on this one? Wow, my table of contents just pops up. What happens on if I click on these guys, those checkboxes? Why? Those checkboxes are in ArcBro as well. So every time I click on a checkbox and it is checked, it's something else is happening on my map. Those are patterns. Again, breathe. Remember the first time you open Windows, the first time you open Excel. You're like, whoa, all these cells, what do I do? Where do I type a function? How do I type a function? How do I copy a function? This is the same traumatic experience right now. I would consider you right now in close to panic mode traumatic experience. Am I right or wrong? Exactly. Every time an update comes out, I'm like, click on it. Okay, what has changed? The biggest fear you can have as an instructor is, oh, there's an update. What has changed? I have colleagues who told me, oh, we are not, yes, give us a license, but we don't want that software installed before Christmas because we need to change the classes and we won't have the time to do so. Yes, please. Uh-oh.
You have multiple layers, right?
Yep.
And we've got one of the layers that are site-specific.
Site-specific layers, yep.
Whenever we're looking at it on the screen, is there a way to see the back end to export
The data, as in Arc. Let's go back here. You're jumping the ship here. Business analyst is great. Business analyst has a problem. Business analyst is my workhorse. Business analyst is not making my map look pretty and helpful. I can look here, let's say show table, and I can see what's inside. Right now it's just one. Yeah. All right, but that's not what I want to do right now. I want to take a look at, again, Daphne. Breathe. Next step is I'm going to show you guys how to define an area for a report. Click. And this time, not finding a location like we did before with an address. Not finding select geography, multiple zip codes manually selected. Now I'm doing a polygon. AKA I draw on the map in the area of interest. So if I do that, you can clear the map if you want to. You can clear everything you want. Zoom in, and I'm interested in this kind of corridor here. Can you see that? This corridor. And you could define this and say, I want to have X feet of distance right now. This is freestyle. This is, give me a rough estimate. Yeah? I'm going to click on the polygon here. And it says, click a button to begin drawing. So I click, let's say here. Draw a line across parallel to, let's say, here. Down. Can you see how it follows? It's the so-called rubber band function. It's about 100 lines of code. And then move over here. So remember, a polygon is a closed environment. The last click I will do is a double click to finish my drawing. Okay? So now you just manually selected an area. And now second step is what the site has been saved. What do you want to do? Well, I want to run a report. Or I want to run an infographics. So it takes a moment. Now I just ran the infographics for that drawing I did on the map. Want to repeat that? I'm going to clear the map. All of it. Okay. I go to define areas for report. I select draw a polygon. I say, okay, fine, let's do the polygon. Right now, I want to do something different. I'm interested in, let's say, that segment here between Hiatus Road, this is here the north-south, and University. So what I can do is I just go here, click, follow 595, go down on University, click here, oops, wrong, it's fine, close it. So independent from zip codes, census blocks, addresses in that area, this is an area of interest for me right now for my research. I can run any infographics, any report, prepackaged in the format, or by my own design in a template.
Okay.
So think about that. You have now the power to drop a pin manually, find a location by address search, find multiple locations by business searches, keywords and or types of businesses. You can select data areas of interest, let's say by geography, census tracts, zip codes, cities.
Rent prices?
Rent prices, don't touch that right now. It's different. And you can manually create your own areas of interest because you have specific ideas and certain boundaries, or you're interested in a specific corridor. Yeah? And you can add all of the above to it. Yes, please.
Are parcels by 30/20?
Parcels are public domain.
Right.
gis.broward.org. Download all the parcels. Or wait until I give you a section to play with it.
And then you can upload that into this.
You can upload that into that. That's the reason why you will get a section for it. You don't want to have like 700,000. Actually, it's only 328,000, I think. You don't want to have all these features up if you only need like a neighborhood. You will see then in a few next sessions we are going to play just, let's say, small stuff in Davie or Weston. Yeah? Because we can relate to that space. If we do an exercise, like in 5 minutes, we do an exercise right on campus. Why? You probably have seen that space before. I don't do this in Kansas. I'm not wearing red shoes. All right. You got that? Perfect. We are only like 37 minutes behind in schedule. Perfect. Want to do something else? Some fun? Still with me? It's like Alana is like, oh man, I'm so bummed out right now. It's like, oh, yes, sir.
So I know you showed us the table, but is there a way to export that table?
Oh, that table now? What do you want?
I'm looking at the table for drive time map. You're not DAO, DOA, the ArcGIS.
So next week we're doing data management. You want to wait with data management? It's super easy. Drive time. Let's go to, let's say, let's go to, here, this is a table down there. But it only has one, because it's only one area. It's only the covered area. So what you might want to take a look at is, the sites are, let's do this separate. You're geeking out in a different way, I think. That's
Raw data. I just want the export. Where's the export button?
save layer, actually in content. In content, you can download everything in content. So if you go to content, let's say to my McDonald's, where was my customs reports? So this is advanced level, so everyone do not freak out.
Oh, export there.
Yeah, so you can actually export those guys. Export data, different formats, KML, Excel. First of all, the book actually has a section on that. And second, we're going to deal with that a little bit next week with data management. Next week is up and downs. The buckets right now is complicated enough. You have 2 web pages and they talk to each other. Yeah, that's mind-blowing already. I'm kind of on a mind-blowing thing right now. All right. Let's minimize this and let's do something different. Let's open up ArcPro. All right. So for ArcPro, ArcGIS Pro.
That's the one we can only use here, right?
Yeah, or on your home computer, if you have a PC.
Okay.
Huh? All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do digitizing. Did I have that here? Geocoding map project. Yeah. Everyone has ArcGIS Pro open right now. Everyone sees a similar setup right now like I have. Meaning you should see a really great background, see a bunch of open recent projects, more or less. On top right, you see your username logged in to arcgis.com. Yes, please.
I'm in it, but I don't see the list of projects.
Yeah, because you probably did a bunch of more projects or less projects than me. I'm pretty sure, Nathan, these are my recently opened project on my laptop. I'm pretty sure that you did not do a project called Nuts. All right. You also see on probably here this. Create a new project. All right. We are going to create a new map project. That's the reason why we click on map. All right. Create new project, click on map. That is the applied project template. We are going to call that digitize or digitize 1. Okay, super important. Under location, you probably see something like user, R. Kaufman or RK something, documents, ArcGIS projects. This is the first step to fail with your sanity. Not to fail the class, a sanity. If you do this in this classroom, it will pop this into your documents, ArcGIS, blah, blah, blah. You need to physically copy that on your jump drive later, because it's somewhere on your computer. In my case, I don't care. I take the laptop with me. If you do that and you don't set this file location the right place, right now, let's say straight up into your jump drive, you're going to have a problem. This is going to be different. If it's a Lei, if Lei is doing this right now, just clicking OK, and then it sits on Max's computer next week, the data is gone, technically, because it's maybe on each local computer. So for data safety purposes, make sure that you are aware where do you save your data. For the demonstration purposes right now, it doesn't matter. If you work, let's say, on your project, make sure that the data location is known, that you have full access and awareness of this. Full access and awareness. If you use your jump drive in this computer class and you plug it in on your friend's computer at home or your computer at home, that jump drive might not be letter F anymore. It might be B or E or something like this. So your data might be lost, as in, oh, my computer can't find it right now, but it's on the jump drive. You will see an exclamation mark right next to it. You need to change the source and the properties. We will do that next week with data management. We go through all these things in little troublemakers. Yes, please.
Do you know if Google Drive converts it?
Pardon?
Do you know if there's problems with Google Drive converting it?
I have no idea with online drive systems how they will act. You always assign a letter to them. And sometimes you just sign in with an app. I would recommend to be very particular with a jump drive. My world, I have Dropbox running in the background for certain areas of my work. Not on the C drive if I go straight into my computer. But all my documents, actually that one is not. Yeah? But most of my work is backed up with Dropbox. Helps because whatever I do in the evenings on my laptop, leave the laptop at home, come in the morning in the office, and Office pops up with everything is the same part. I cannot stress data backups and their importance. Please do that. The online stuff, most of it saves automatically. It's just annoying because it saves dozens of stuff. The manual work we're doing now with, let's say, ArcGIS Pro, you need to put that into the right place. Otherwise, you're looking for it and looking for it and looking for it, and you go nuts. Different nuts than the project here.
Are we transferring data from ArcGIS Pro into these other programs?
At 11:45 maybe, if we get to it. So what I really try to do now is the book had a chapter as kind of a homework assignment today, digitizing. So the book goes through all the little tiny tools and finesses, how to rotate and scale and put things. I want to do this with local data. We're not doing a digitizing exercise. Digitizing is a cool thing. I skipped the lecture. The lecture would be 5 slides. Digitizing, current mode is if you don't have the data, but you know it's out there, you need to survey it. It's like you would go out and ask people, what type of coffee do you like? So you stand in front of the coffee shop and say, coffee shop number 1, 100 people, XY coffees. Coffee shop number 2, 100 people, different type of coffees. Field work. What I'm going to do now is, in ArcGIS Pro, we're going to demonstrate for every type of vector data, point, polyline, polygon, that workflow, how to create that. Create a small little bucket for us locally, throw it in. With zero theory. We don't care what type of geodatabase and what kind of physics behind there. We just know, this is going to be the bucket and we're going to put some stuff in it. The whole talk right now about the location path here, open location, is this is where we were going to store that bucket. So next week, we know where it is. Okay? That's the whole thing. Point, polylines, polygons. And we're going to do this with the most annoying example. Cars, footpaths, pedestrian paths, and building footprints. And you will think, man, why would I do that? Well, it's a point location of some interest. A pedestrian path is always great because you learn that in site planning it's a part of systems of flow. And building footprints, site plan, man, you can actually draw your own site plan quick and dirty. If we have a little bit of time, we do some mind-blowing stuff, aka go 3D. But I want to show you that same process in the old school stuff. If not, I'm going to make a video with the old school stuff, but it's different on a video than with me in the classroom. We'll see. Hold on with me, hold tight, stay focused. We are not going to take a break. If you need a break, stand up, do the 7th inning wiggle. Different platform, different system. Looks different. So don't be scared. We're doing this step by step, easy going. Christina.
I mean, I didn't get the first platform and now move into another platform. I'm just like,
Different platform. Something completely new. If you struggled earlier this morning, this is different.
But I like to make sure that I'm national and move on to the next one.
Yeah, but my job is to make sure that you're matching and you're comfortable on all the platforms. So definitely we got you. I got your back, okay? So think about this in food. This morning we talked about eggs and breakfast. Now we're doing lunch preparation. Food, different. Still meals of the day. Huh? I understand the challenge is we have an older and a newer platform to give you that transition. But I will fail you as an educator if I don't expose you for both. Because you cannot answer a question about GIS then if you go, say, for an internship or something, and they say, so you know GIS? Oh yeah, we did ArcGIS Pro. And the guys in the shop say, oh, we don't have Pro, we have ArcMap. You can say, well, I have been exposed to both. And both worlds will be okay. Huh? Again, breathe. I understand a new software, a new technology is tremendously challenging. It's not my first rodeo, and all the riders survived. Nobody broke their legs. Okay? So, for the purpose of this demonstration, we are going to name this Digitize 1. We're going to select a location of your convenience. Right now, I keep it. Actually, let's do this. Let's click on here, browse, find a location. And I go to my C drive, and I go to GIS class. Remember we created a folder called GIS class? And put that in here, GIS class. If you don't have that, create one. Okay?
But does it matter for this assignment?
Nope, this is demonstration. I just want to make sure that you save it at some place you have access so you can actually go back and take a look at it.
Should we try our jump drive?
You can do the jump drive too. Okay? Then I hit OK. I name the project, I find a location where I want to save it. That's all what I want. And click OK. Okay? Is your jump drive popping up in File Explorer, Windows File Explorer? Yeah. But it doesn't pick up on.
You can save it there. Like,
Oh, and then drag it.
you can just save it on the computer and just drag it over
Yeah,
there.
on the computer. We should actually find it.
Right. I'll just do
Something I will explore. Okay. Good. So we got our ribbons here. This might look a little bit different because when it popped open, it had a bunch of panes and different options here. I clicked them off. You might not see catalog. You might see just map. Yeah. So bear with me here. There are sometimes a little bit of different views on this, depending on how intense you work with that. All right. So map, by standard, it pops up with the United States. It shows up topography, hill shade, so it looks really great. Well, I want to digitize. I want to deal with the real world. The closest I can get with the real world right now is I'm going to pull in a aerial photography. How do I do this? Well, I go to base map. Click on base map. These are the predefined examples coming from the online world. And I would take imagery as a backup. So it switches it. Here's your current hurricane about this area, and this one sitting here is coming soon. So now I'm zooming in with my mouse wheel to our South Florida area. And now, wow, where am I? Even those who grew up here look at the screen right now and like, oh, how do I find our campus? All right, small ideas. Tip of the nose before you hit the keys. Good. That lake I cannot pronounce. Okeechobee. It's lost in translation. Yeah. So I have this big bulk here of the Everglades, and then here I have like a big metro area. So if I zoom in closer, if you're looking at this, you're in the Miami area, you're not there yet. But wait, there's something very important. See that corner here? That is Alligator Alley 595 to the port. So I'm zooming in closer and closer and closer. Now details are coming in. Now I can see the western area 75 coming in here. This is the mall area, the big lake thing before the airport. Look, this is the airport in case you haven't seen it yet. Let's see if Delta is on the terminals. Yep. And to get a little bit closer, you can say, if I find the airport, I follow Griffin Road. Does this S-curve style at the turnpike. Yeah. Follow Griffin Road more. Next significant thing I can find, oh, this is a golf course. 2 golf courses. Yeah, they stand out a little bit with the patterns. And then right here is university and the campus. So think about that. You're coming in from the moon, you're flying into Florida, you find the lake, you find Miami, zoom in, find that corner of 595 and the Everglades, and then you trail along with those points of interest or known places. Okay? And we're going to zoom into this area here. For those who just came to campus recently, you walked with me on orientation this area. This is the new dorms.
What?
The new dorms. The dormitories. This is the here, where I'm looking here right now, this is the construction site we walked. Yeah, 5th floor right now, yeah. All right. So what are we going to do is now points, lines, and polygons. All right. So we're going to take a look at the edit function. We're going to deal with these guys here. But first, we're going to insert. How am I going to do this today? Let me double check one thing. We can maybe be able to. Nope, we got to do this first. We're going to do insert. Insert. And it says add item. Okay? And add item, I say add database. Okay? Then I go to my C drive and my GIS class. All right, add item, new file geodatabase or database. Let's do database. Both will work for this purpose. Actually, file. Sorry, notes. New file geodatabase. New file geodatabase. Okay. And I find my physical location where I want to place this. On my GIS class folder, double click into that. You do not see all these right now. This is other stuff. Okay? Did you guys create that one? Is it on your jump drive? You can use any folder right now. You can use even a desktop if you want to. It's just important that you know where you're going to save all that, because you don't want to lose your data. Next week we're doing data management. Next week we're going to repeat all this very in depth. Right now, just click it, place it, let's say, in your documents or downloads. Or I do it here, and this is my laptop. Now you name it. Call it Digitizer or Digitize One. Digitize underscore GDB. Okay. GDB, geodatabase underscore. All right, give me a moment. Let me finish so you can see. I have here a catalog. If you don't see a catalog pane here, this one, you can go to view and can add this here. Yeah? If you don't see it right now, you can add this with view. This is my map.
You can insert, add item.
Add item, new file geodatabase.
New.
And with via view, you can go to catalog. And on the catalog side, all right, guys, take a look at the screen. At the catalog, which I can activate with view and then catalog pane. Kind of looks like a file explorer. I have a thing called here folders. I can add a folder connection. This is the complicated part. This is important. ArcGIS Pro does a lot of data management for us. If you want to take control, you need to use add folder connections. Click on that, and now I go into the folder, to say the GIS class folder, click OK.
How did you get the add folder?
I right click on it.
Right.
So now, this is my project. This is the jump drive or any folder on my system. Could be a network. Could be maybe your Google Docs. If I click on this, I see everything here again. And I see digitize underscore GDP. This is pretty much you open the patio door to let someone in to help you with the barbecue. Because now you have the possibility to grab that data and bring it to a friend's place. ArcGIS Bro is a little bit territorial when it comes to its data management.
I only have digitized one.
That's fine because you might not have that. This is the first day of class. I kept that in that folder. You will.
I don't have digitized one GDP.
You didn't do that?
Just a folder of top lines.
Okay. Did you create that in that location? All right. I will check that in a second. So I right-click on my underscore GDP, digitize one, GDP. I right-click and just take a look at what's here. We're going to do a feature class, but don't go far away. All right, let's do this again. Folder connections. This is a lifesaver. If you know how to connect your data location with folder connection, that's how they call it, folder connection. It's like, this is my bucket. What's the finger I need? And I have that. Then you have it. It doesn't matter where this folder is. Folder connection. Point on it. How do I do this? Let's do this again. I go inside the catalog. I go to folders. Left click, simple left click to highlight it. Then I right click on it. Remember, if you right click on all these options and all these tools, there are gadgets and ideas and options popping up all over the place. Scary, but if you explore some of these tools, it's helpful. All right, add folder connections. So it says here on top, add folder connections. That means wherever I want to be on my computer, let's give you an idea. I could go down to users, Wurzel, all these other stuff, which I don't want to. I'm going to take now, find the physical location of that folder I want to connect, so a little bucket, and just tap on it. It's a folder I want to connect, the whole thing. Okay? Meaning, my data right now is going to be placed in a C drive GIS class folder. I don't double click on this. Don't do that. Yeah? I hear double clicks. I just simply click once, and now I can see here, name is GIS class folders. This could be my projects. This could be Ryan's jump drive. Yeah? You can map, this is called mapping, you can map a whole jump drive like that, not just a folder. I prefer folders because it's easier to manage. And then you click OK. In that case, you should see, if you click here again, folders, you should see something like this. It says GIS class. If I now double click, I see multiple items. You should see one for sure. If you have done this right, you should see digitize one underscore GDP. All right? Data management and data setup is painful if you want to do a little bit more advanced work. But that's okay. I got your back. Okay? Next step, how to create a feature class, or what we call all the time layers. Yeah? How to create that layer, how to create a blank layer where we can drop points in through digitizing. Yeah? I right click, digitize one GDP, I right click on this guy, and it says new. For the data geeks like Angelo, see there's also an import and export. Huh? So there are different ways to get organized in a database. The most simplistic way is to create a feature class. In the old school system, sometimes we call it shapefiles. Shapefiles is physically different from a feature class, but there are also layers. Think onions. White onion, red onion. Yeah? Both are onions. Great for salad. Different purposes in cooking. All right? But onions, if you cut them wrong, you start whining. All right. We're doing feature class here. It says create a new feature class in the Geo database. That's what I want. Inside the bucket, I want to put now 3 different types of soda pop. Coke, Pepsi, and Fanta. Feature class number 1. You can see here on the side, it popped up. It said create feature class. This is the process we are going to do now. Everything is workflow. Okay? I'm going to call this, first step, is calling this a name. Call it cars, like in automobiles. Yeah? Question?
That's what I was saying.
Your what is broken?
I just moved. I can't find the file to see. I'm doing file connections, folder connections.
Okay.
I can't get digitize one and then the folder, which is going to be my disk drive.
All right.
The
You gotta do that, otherwise you get lost.
This is the folder inside this drive, but it doesn't contain my
Where is it? On the C drive? There's a digitized GDP. It's actually on the C drive. Gotta move it
physically onto my.
Don't leave it home. Why are you looking at the words?
Because I didn't know if there was like ArcGIS and ArcGIS. I thought they were short. I really didn't want to
See, now you got it.
I was like, is that class file?
Where's the GIS class?
If you look at one file, it's in there.
Oh, no?
The other ones here.
When I start to say that
Here, it's a refresh problem in the project. So now it's in intent. Okay. Got this?
has the file been connected? The connection's been made?
Yeah.
Already? All right.
I don't know where.
You going? Okay? Are you staying?
Yeah.
I just clicked around when I was going through the tutorial, and I was just sitting around to see what things did. I ended up doing infographics. See if I could do it. What were you saying?
All right.
Highlight.
All right. So the complicated part is how to manage your data here and how to make sure that you're in the right location and the system understands what you try to do. And I do understand this is a great challenge right now. That's the reason why we need to spend a little bit of time on this. Next week, we're going to spend a full hour just with data movements, arrangements, and setting this up. So if you don't have a jump drive with you this time, bring one next week. If we are going to set this up in a way that you can replicate at any time on any machine. Yeah? Because the last thing we want is you panicking about a simple process. Erica, are you okay with all that?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is like... This is not easy. Trust me with that, this is not easy. The fact that 1, 2, 3 folks in here right now might not succeed today with it, it's okay. GIS learnings is also accepting here and there failures and mistakes. We did. Huh? So? Okay. Have I made myself not clear that what I'm going to teach you in this class and successfully teach you in class can be material in the midterm? So if I have consistent issues with majority of the students in getting, let's say, this data setup done, we need to work on that. And I help you with that. And there's certain elements where I have to say, okay, fine, this is in chapter number 2. Please review chapter 2 as an example. Versus, this is the special way we are doing setups. This is how I repeat this. That's the reason why we focus pretty much a good share of a session just in how to deal with data. It's a little bit more complicated than just plugging in jump drive and open a Word document. And even though, how many times have you lost a Word document? So the midterm is not your concern. The midterm, as far as I see, is multiple thousands mouse clicks away. Let's focus on the next 10 mouse clicks. Let's say it like this. If next week data management takes more than an hour and we end up in 3 hours, well, the midterm will focus then on successes in data management a little bit more than the tool we didn't cover. I have not written the midterm yet. The midterm is interactive and responsive to our success in this class. For sure, the midterm covers the lectures as in the theory I present. In class, in front of these computers. Applied. So the amount of theory, therefore, is fairly low. I might have like 2 or 3 questions, fundamental concepts. Everything else is applied. Huh? It might not be even like that I say create a sheer database and add new layers. It might be just a simple thing here. Digitize 10 points. Rename certain fields. Like the basics we are learning through this. You can be sure part of the midterm is going to be business analyst. Because you're succeeding with this. You have done already proven, showed with an assignment that you are able to play with some of the basic data. The midterm is not going to be taking you out and hanging you high. No. But it's a demonstration that you have been able to practice and learn the skills in the class prior. Fair warning, if you do not spend time outside of this classroom in front of these computers. If you come back the next Saturday and you log in again, you haven't used online platforms the last week, you're not going to be happy. Why? Yeah, I know how to make a map. I know how to run a report. Run it 5 times. Repeat. It's life-saving. Yeah? For those who are into the diving industry a little bit, fun diving, South Florida, lots of coral reefs. That little thing we call a mask clear, where you flood your mask half or full, just in case someone hits you in the face and the mask is flooded. That's pretty much every damn training session in the pool. You need to do that in the salt water at 60 feet for certification as an open water. And you repeat that skill. So the same thing like brushing your teeth takes some time, and you've been 3 years old, brushing your teeth is different like with 25. Cutting onions for the salad or meats is different. You gotta practice this stuff. You can't run a marathon if you don't practice for it. You can't sprint it. So I understand concerns about the learning experience with frustration mixed in combination. I completely understand. If you have these concerns, let me know. Office hours, emails, communicate with me. 2 or 3 hours before a deadline and bombarding me with emails is not going to help. It's putting you in an extra state of anxiety. All that stuff is properly timed. I know the assignment that was due last night, posted like what, Sunday night, Monday morning. There was enough time to do this assignment successfully. I had folks on Tuesday already submitting that. So I'm fully aware of the time and chaos with that software. The midterm is not your concern right now. The concern right now is that I have 36 minutes to teach you something really cool. And I want to do that as successful as I can deliver that to you, with a little bit inspiration and entertainment. Remember, educate, entertain, inspire. All right, so if I find this whole thing, I did right-click on it, say new feature class, okay? It should pop up here on the side, a thing called create feature class. I'm going to select a name called cars. I want to create points. Therefore, I need to go here, feature class, and change that to point. If you do this quick and dirty, you generate polygons and you wonder, why can I not create a point? You gotta be particular with this. All right? Click next. So here's the technical stuff. For the technical stuff, all you can see is grayed out. This is optimization in the background for you. The system is doing it. Object ID, what kind of shape, point. I'm going to click here. I click one time next. All right, go previous. Do you see this? Define.
I'm under GIS processing.
this one right and say new feature class. That's what you do. Yeah, and click on this button. New feature class. You.
But I'm not having the next button.
That's fine. That's your name. That's your type. This looks a little bit different for you. Yeah. It's okay. It's not a problem. All right. So for some, apparently, for some, this looks different. Like you might see a location here or something like this. Stick with it. Find a name, call it cars. Then you find here the type. Select point. Okay. Then I click next. There is a chance to add a field. It's like a column in Excel. And I call it color. And it comes with the data type text. Got it?
It looks like it should be there.
Everything else I like. I click finish. Okay. Let's do the same thing again. Different type. I right click on my database here. Say new feature class. Again, this might appear differently. I will check why your computer right now looks different than mine. Yeah. But the elements are the same. You will see more than I have right now, but the elements are the same. The elements we are going to create are paths. P-A-T-H-S. And we choose line as type. Okay? Everything I like. Click finish. Trust me. Gotta serve that cake with just like that cherry topping right now. No other breadcrumbs. All right. I said 3 different types we have as vector data: point, line, and polygons. I'm going to add a new one again. New feature class. I call it buildings. And I will keep the type as polygon. Everything I like. All right? Polygon. First, the last thing is buildings, polygon. All right. Now, I right-click this guy again, this bucket with the 3 little piglets in there, and say add to project. Nothing really happened. If you change back to the map, nothing happened. Why are you not showing? That's fine. Well, what we can do is we could do map, add data, add data to the map. It's a tab.
Tap by the, yeah.
Oh, I see.
And go to our location we just created. Again, I repeat this. From catalog. Yep. From catalog, I switch to map. Go to map, add data. Find my location. I can look here at the computer myself, or remember we did folder connections. I just click folder, GIS class, and then double click in there, and with shift I highlight everything and hit OK. Let me repeat this. I can go to folders, to my mapped folder location, double click on this, go into my database, here digitize one, double click this. Now I can see all the things I created. You can see also buildings, cars, and paths have different symbols.
Point, polygon, line.
Point, line, polygon. Exactly. So I click all three of them and click OK. And here we go. They are on the table of content to the left. But why don't I see any cars or paths and buildings right now in the map? It's blank. We didn't create anything yet. It's an empty bottle. Huh? So, talking about all the red wine in this class, right now you're looking at an empty bottle and you need to make the wine. How do we make the wine? Well, there's a ribbon called Edit. Click on Edit. There's a tool called Create. It says Create Features. If you just simply hover over these buttons, it tells you now, Create Features, show the Create Feature pane. This allows you to create new features in the current map using templates. All right. So just move here, go to Edit, and Create. Please note that the Save button right now is grayed out, meaning that function doesn't exist yet. All right? I'm going to click on Create. Hypothetically, it should pop up here on the right side on my screen. With Erica and your geoprocessing, do you see now Create Feature on the right side? Okay. So what does this do right now is, for the data that is available here in my map, it gives me the idea of what can I create as features with a simple bunch of mouse clicks into the map. What we're doing right now is head-on digitizing on the screen. So if I want to do cars, I click on cars, and it gives me different options here. I keep the point. If I click here, more magic happens, because that's where you can define the template. So think about that. If I want to digitize all the red cars, I can type for each car red, red, red. Click on the button manually, or just type in here what I want to standardize. Purpose of this training, let's do it manually. So now I can see if I'm here on cars, my mouse has changed. I have this crosshair. Yeah? So wherever I aim right now, I will make the change and create a new feature. It's really cool. Too many clicks, too many features. So don't be trigger happy. Navigation in this map right now. Mouse wheel is your friend, because it helps you to zoom in and out. But what if I'm at this level and I want to move within that map? The C key, C as in Charlie. If you click X, the C, Z, X, and C, you will see that the mouse changes. If I click Charlie, hold it down, I get that panning hand. So I can, with the left mouse click, I can pan on top of that parking lot. Pressing the C key. Okay? What I want is I want to be on the south side of campus on top of this parking lot. All right? Everyone got that so far? South side of campus. Oops, accidental click. If not, find on campus a parking lot. This is not fixated on campus parking lot. You can find any other parking lot.
Is there a way to like if you click back to there, like a way to go back?
Yes, with navigation here. Map navigation, you always can move around with map navigation. Okay? C button down, move around, find that parking lot here in the south. Or somewhere else a parking lot. Life is not going to end because we are on the wrong parking lot. Alright, so I zoom in closer. Click on the cars, activate here. My crosshairs changed and I just click on the first red car. Alright? Then I click on the next red one. And you can see this is selected and highlighted, and this is the past one. And for time being right now, I'm going to click for a few more. Not differentiating any color. Alright? Doesn't have to be perfectly on top of the car. Anywhere in that car. Yeah? You're using a point to display that one car. Alright? Now, you can see the save button here is active. I'm going to click that. Right now, everything is temporary. If I click here, save, it will ask me save the edits. It will show me even where and what I edited. And I say yes. Yeah. And then I click clear to unselect. Save. So that means if I click off the world imagery, I have now a bunch of points created. So here on the left side, I enable, disable world imagery. So I just created in an easygoing way some points that represent cars. How to add the color to those cars we're doing next week. This was chapter number 7. This was training exercise for today. Some of you guys appear not to have done that at all because the way you navigate in the software. You gotta get some time on that software. It's like going running. You're not going to be successful if you run once a week for 20 minutes. You gotta do every day a little bit. Like put out a training plan. I have not planned, but I will come if needed, particularly for the projects. I will come in one of the evening hours and help you guys a little bit. Got to arrange a few things in my schedule. Did not plan on tutoring in during the open lab hours. The idea is to conceptualize that between the textbook, some of the videos, and this class. Got to get acquainted with navigation. Simple left, right, zoom in, zoom out. All right, but let's have more fun. Switch on the imagery here. Zoom out a little bit. And this is going to be so totally basic, you can say this is the most annoying exercise. I'm going to digitize a path. You can see there are different options how to digitize a path. If you hover over, it tells you different ideas. Right now, doing the standard path. So I'm in the same edit mode, looking at the same area, but I'm now dealing with my path, not with my points. I like this one here. This is a pedestrian path. I click on it, see that mouse can hover around, and that line is connecting, take the next corner point, create another corner point, go here, move around, go here. I could do some fun and just do a zigzag across. For the purpose of this training, let's do this. Gonna have some fun. Huh? Okay? Then you can hit F2 or finish or double click at the location where you want to be done with it. And let's save those edits. And clear the selection because see this is highlighted.
I double click, but I still
Keyboard shortcuts like pressing F2 to close a sketch is the next level if you do this more times. Yeah, you're getting annoyed at some point of time if like for moving the map around, you don't want to click here, move, go back to edit. You're pressing the C, the Charlie button, and just move. Yeah, at the end, you're literally like 3 fingers on the keyboard, and then move the mouse. If you do that more often, okay. So if I look at this again, I created some points. I digitized a pedestrian path, and for some reason, I kind of put a C as a Harry Potter on there. Yes, please. Pre-press the button here on the box to activate the visibility or not. All right. Now, the next step is I want to do some buildings. All right. Well, what kind of building am I going to do? Well, does it matter? Well, let's take the school down here. See that little gray? If you zoom in, this is actually a school building. For the training exercise right now, how to digitize a building footprint, we're going to follow here, click, 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 and we simplify this whole thing and double click to close. Again, there are a bunch of different options. The most option you will use is this one. Let's say the question was about the midterm. Let's say there is a question that would ask you to digitize something. There is a polygon, this would be the work path. Okay? Let's do something else. Let's do another one. Zoom out a little bit. Use the C key to move. Zoom in. And let's say let's just do this footprint. I see you, but
What about the C?
on the height, hold your horses. Hold your horses.
So this is called digitizing, right?
Yep.
What's the purpose of it?
Say you don't have any idea of all these locations right now, but you have a really accurate map. Photography. You can eyeball to a certain accuracy level a location of a building. For the purpose of showing an overview on, let's say, the buildings on campus, does it matter if you're in real world by 3 foot off or not? No, but it could be easy done as in just a simple footprint like this. And now I could show, oops, sorry, the 2 buildings relatively to the work we have done. Without anything else. Think about digitizing as the idea of generating data where no data is at this moment. That goes into the category of so-called geo-processing. What if I give you all the building footprints for Broward County, and you only need 20 out of the 300-something thousand. So you would need to go in and select and copy and paste your data.
So it makes a feature that
you create data. You create features now. the example of the cars would be now the next step. We would go inside the data table and say, well, there are cars that are red, cars that are white. We're going to add this into the data table. Why? Because our GIS is a model of the real world. Right now, the real world shows me that here is a building. Yeah? Here's a building. My model, my GIS now has that building footprint down there. If I want to use now a drive time from that location, I could use that building. Or I could represent that building as a point. Right now it's a footprint.
You showed before the football field that is now being student housing over there constructed on it.
Yeah, this one.
For all the student housing units, Polygons.
Sure. If you have that drawing already, fine. You can take AutoCAD, could pull it in, and then change that. Or for the fun purpose, let's say this is kind of an L-shaped piece. Not to scale, not to shape, but this is an example where next time you're doing a project and you have to create a simple site plan, you can use digitizing as a function to create a site plan. Huh? Yes, please.
So how would you import AutoCAD into this?
This is a super tech question we are going to answer outside of the regular classroom session. Yeah? And there's a help function for that too. It's just imports. All right, so I did save, I did unselect everything, okay? And I exit out on the great features.
You unselect everything as far as
Here.
cards, maps, and
Yeah, here, selection. All right. To finish this, I can now could use ArcGIS Online, connect this map, load it up. We're doing this next week. Should be presented in the book already, but we're doing this exactly next time. Yeah? To finish all the crazy new stuff with a wow. Let's do two more things. Add the building height and put this thing in 3D. Remember, I think the schedule says midterm and then 3D. So we're going to have more fun. All right. I go to buildings, right click on that, an attribute table. This is going to be like open heart surgery right now. Pops up down here, new table. And it has this feature called add field. And for time purposes, let me go through slowly right now. If you're stuck, listen and watch. We're going to post the screen capture. And this is goodies. This is candy right now. Right click on buildings. Attribute table. And then it pops up down here as an example. All right, now I'm going to do add field. This is like you add a new column in Excel. Now in this case, this would be A, B, C, D, the E column. I'm going to create a new field. Say add. Get a ton of technical, weird looking stuff at the bottom of this whole thing. And I call it height. And as data type, come on, height. And as new data type here, as data type, click here on the side, pops up. I call it double. We are not going to go into crazy depth. What are the technical computer science backgrounds between those different types? Your life is easy and happy with types double and text. I take double. Okay? And then we X out. Unsaved changes found, execute the changes, save. Or you click here on save on the top. Both is possible.
Wait, did you do save or?
Mine did not save. Why not?
Because when you exit out, it says to unsave.
Alright. Hide. Double. Save. Okay.
Where instead of where you
Save it inside the attribute table. Again, process. Right click here on buildings, attribute table. This pops open. Add field. Create the field. Save. Okay.
What's the EO processing cache?
I will help you in a moment. Let me finish this. All right. So right now I have no idea which building is what. This is arbitrary numbers. Let's take 40s and 50s. 40, double click, type it in. 50, double click, and this is the last one we created. Let's do a 60. Okay? So if everything worked out right, I have in my attribute table 3 elevation data of building height. For each of those, see that? Click on it, pops up height 50. Click on that, height 60. So if I want to do this as those 3D block build blocks, I would use a tool called extrusion. But extrusion is grayed out. What does this gray out mean? The function is currently not available for the data I'm dealing with, or the environment. So wait a minute, we did explore in the first class, didn't we explore something that's called scene? Huh? Well, I can do map functions here, I can do inserts here, and in the inserts here, this is why it's important to click on things to find new ideas. I can do a new map, a new global scene, oh, a new local scene. Let's do new local scene. All right. It's just generating a template. Now the trick comes. I go back to my map. This is like a bucket thing. I take buildings. I right click on buildings. I copy them. I hop on the pane called scene. Right click on 3D layers. Sorry, scene. Right click on scene and say paste. This does look like we're somewhere at the university right now. Takes a moment because it's loading data. Now I go to appearance. In that left click on the buildings to have buildings activated. Go to appearance and look, extrusion is active. And I go to extrusion type, absolute height. And now with shift on a control, shift and right click, I can tilt that guy. And it's supposed to present the, oh, height. Forgot something. Gotta tell you where you get the height. Building height. See that? extrusion, type, absolute height. Then in the buildings layer, you activate height. That's the field where it gets the numbers and the height.
How do you?
And it pulls automatically if you do shift right mouse, you can navigate the 3D. Okay?
Where to activate in the building table? In the building?
Buildings, type, absolute height. Activate the field height.
Oh, okay.
If you don't do that, it doesn't know how tall. All right. So this is really cool. One more thing. And that's the cool part of the new stuff. There is this little button. Where was it? This little button. Where are you? Animation. Map. Here. Under view. It's that little secret, little tiny one. Click on that, and it loads an animation pane. And it says add keyframe. So I'm going to move out. Click on keyframe. Move in. Shows up in the button in the middle. Yeah. Next keyframe. Shift right click. Rotate this guy. Zoom in a little bit more. Next keyframe. Change rotation and zoom out. Something like that. And then I hit play. So to come back to your question, James, why would I do that? Well, you just created, with zero prior knowledge, a 3D block model animation of 3 buildings you didn't have, let's say, as an AutoCAD drawing or somewhere else, and it's created that. So think about that. If you have a project, you could now say, this is my footprint. We're thinking this is going to be 40 feet high. This is how this could look like in 3D. You, what?
To rotate it, it's shift and right.
Shift and right click. So usually navigation is between shift, control, left and right clicks. You got to keep those down. Shift, right click, hold, and then move. See how my cursor changes? All right, let's save this. All right, 12 o'clock. You guys went through a lot today. You need to realize that as a success. With bumps, with roadblocks, you went through a lot. Huh? You went into an advanced level of business analyst. Advanced, not just intermediate. With a little bit more practice, you should be able to do any customized report you want for any site you want. With a different drive time analytics for different locations and geographies, zip codes, drawings on the screen. Yeah? That learning curve is right now skyrocketing high. Breathe. I do help you guys to come back and repeat exercises. breathe. This is a really complex software, and I try to cut it and slice it in small little bites. But we need to chew together on that, okay? All right, we did WebGIS today. Business analyst, we're probably not going to do more in depth on business analyst. We're going to repeat a few functions, so you get practice in that. It's all about repetition, huh? We did a very long, in-depth session on ArcGIS Pro today. You can digitize online as well. You can digitize in the old school setup as well. Since we use the textbook for Pro, we are going to focus on exercises on Pro. Yes, please.
How do you save your keyframes?
Automatically saved.
So then we just save the project?
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
save the animation.
Yeah. Also here, the cool part is you actually, in animations, if you go here to the top left, animations, path and keyframes, it actually shows you the camera movements and where you shoot the images. So compared to the old school stuff where it was really hard to actually see that, here this is actually the visualization where and how you go through and past the buildings.
Can I have it one more time? What did you put for
Path. Yeah. All right. I do encourage you practice. If you have questions, let me know. If something goes wrong, make a screenshot. That helps me to help you. Email us, oh, it doesn't work, is not helping me. So, hey, this is not working, I get this error message. This is where I'm at in the project. This is where I'm in the book. I can help you with that. Okay? It's a pleasure and a privilege to help you and educate you guys. So even though some of you leave frustrated and some leave happy, we all need to leave happy at some time, okay? See you at 12:30. Let me finish this.